There we go. That works. Alright, drop this. Somebody hit me up on Twitter if the sound's working. Alright, so basically what I've done is I set it up in Forge and I set it up in Namecheap. It's going to take a little while for this to propagate, so I wanted to get this thing propagating while I get started on the actual code. So let's get to coding. So the general idea is there's this thing called Marvel Unlimited that allows you to view a whole bunch of Marvel comics. And anybody who just tuned in, I said I'm not going to be paying attention to the chat today just because I'm trying to move super fast. So you can basically see all of their comics, or most of their comics, 17,000 comics, by paying like $60 a year. But all their comics are like 6 months behind. It's sort of like a Netflix kind of deal. And so in comics, there's this idea of a pull list, which is like your local comic shop or whatever knows every time a new episode or whatever of X comes out, I hold it for this person and they pay it. So a lot of people are, every what is it, Wednesday or something, when the new comics come out, a lot of people end up paying $30 a week because their pull list kind of indicated that you should get X, Y, and Z. So what I've been interested in is, like, I'm not a super comic geek, I'm kind of getting into it, so it'd be really cool to do something like that for Marvel Unlimited, where it's like, for example, if you're reading like, so one of the ones I was mentioning was Ms. Marvel. So if you want to know when the new Ms. Marvel comes out, well, it's going to be a lot later than it comes out on the actual like Marvel whatever. It's going to be probably 6 months later, and so it'd be nice for me to say, I want to put Ms. Marvel on my Marvel Unlimited pull list, so that when it comes up in Marvel Limited, I get notified about it. So I thought, I have 45 minutes. Let's see where we can get in 45 minutes. So I do know that there's and I know that the audio is awful. I really did not expect it to be so loud here. So there's a package that is, what's it called? Somebody just tweeted it to me. No sound. Alright, it was Heath Casey. Jeez, it's getting louder and louder here by the minute. I'm not mad if you all quit. So, I don't know if you can actually use... Oh, yeah, you can through Composer. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's do... Wow, it's really loud here. Like, really loud here. I'm going to go check the chat to see if everyone is able to hear anything at all. Everybody might have left because it's so effing loud. Audio is perfect. Music would be no problem. Starbucks. Stop showing me this freaking ad. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna do this. So what we're gonna do is Laravel and Vue Marvel Watch. No, we're not. I should show y'all. Lambo Marvel Watch. Sounds perfect, not loud for us. Fantastic. And I will stop complaining about it. Oh, here we go. MarvelWatch.dev. All right, so. Oh, existing Git repository. Oh, right, because it does that already. See, I built, so it does actually all the things that I already want. So let's create a new GitHub repo called Marvel Watch. This name was recommended by Michael Dorinda. So thank you, Michael, for both doing some initial looking into the Marvel API, which I need to sign up for a account for, and also for coming up with this name for me. All right, so public, don't initialize anything. All right, now let's go to that Forge thing and set it to auto deploy from this real quick. All right, so there's a developers portal. I should have done this beforehand because now y'all are going to see the. Will this be a VOD? I don't know what a VOD is, Caleb Cherry. So while we wait for this thing, I wonder, can I use my normal Marvel login information for this? Give me a second while I look this up on my phone, everybody. Not having two screens while I'm doing Twitch is really impacting it. All right, Marvel. If I could use my Marvel Unlimited login to log into the developer portal, that'd be super cool. Come on, come on, come on. Looks like yes. Join Marvel Insider. No. All right. Developer.marvel.com. Yep, terms of use, blah, blah, blah. No, I promise I really totally read those. Wait, where's the button? Okay, let's trust the site and try it again. Probably some crazy JavaScript stuff going on there or something. Yep, there we go. All right, here's my key, which I'll have to delete after this call because you all now know it. Oh, is there a reset key button? I sure as heck hope there is. Oh, geez, I hope so. All right, so let's make a new refer, which is going to be marvelwatch.dev and then marvelwatch.com. All right, so real quick. Cool. All right, so let's go back to this and Composer bring in this thing, and then I will let y'all know kind of what the general pitch is for this thing. Oh, right. I think it's like, do you have to do the single quotes around it? Maybe, no? Yes, no? Okay, so the general pitch for this thing is basically for a Marvel Unlimited user who wants to know when a comic it's not a comic, it's actually a series, gets a new episode. I'm not using Cucumber, I'm just literally typing words out in really weird syntax. Marvel Unlimited users wants this tool should allow them to pick, allow Marvel Unlimited users to pick their favorite series and notify them when new episodes of those series come to Marvel Unlimited. That's really what it is. Right, that's what we're doing. So some of the things we want to do is list, user logins, show all series, toggle next to each series, and then basically a cron style thing that checks each series in our database for new episodes every morning, and it sends emails or so. That's like the kind of simplest possible thing. So there's going to be some complexity around it. One of the things that Michael Drinda showed me is that basically when you get a series, I think you end up getting like an episode, a listing of episodes back, and one of the things it has is something like Marvel or Unlimited date or something like that. So what you got to do is be able to say like probably, for each series that is toggled by anybody, check where Unlimited date was in the last 24 hours or something like that. The other option is to cache an episode's list and check it against it, but this seems safer because there's actually a date in the API. So basically say, since the last time this API or this cron job ran, look for this. So, okay, not having chat is stupid. I'm just going to try and make it fit in this tiny screen. I gotta do it. Even though I'm going to have to watch that same stupid advertisement yet again. Unless this lets me split it out first. No, get out of here. Pop out, there we go. What's up, party people? Alright, so we have our developer account. We have our Marvel Watch app. GitLab, I don't have a GitLab account. Cannot fetch any of your GitLab credentials to access private repos. KC Software, Marvel PHP, repository archive. Are you kidding me? I don't think it's private. I think there might be something about this just being stupid. Like GitLab does not do Composer well. Because it's definitely flat white. This one is actually just a tall blonde. Is there a GitHub version of it too? Unofficial. SSH auth changed SSH encryption method for things. Well, no, I mean, like, so it says enter your gitlab.com credentials to access private repos. So let's wonder if I just don't want to have to deal with this. I'm going to waste 20 minutes dealing with this guy's friggin' Composer dependencies, and I don't want to deal with it. Yeah, it doesn't actually have any code. It just says moving to GitLab. People, I know you're all excited about GitLab, but come on. Get off of my back and just let me use the friggin' code. Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to do. I just don't want to do it because it's been so long, I don't remember the exact code, so I'm just really frustrated right now, honestly. Like, I don't even know how where you download things in GitHub or in GitLab. It's never smooth, people. It's never smooth. How about clone repo? First source instead of getting a zip archive? Yeah, actually, possibly. I never remember the syntax for that. Thank you. Thank you. They hide the download. Okay, I don't know why y'all like GitLab so much because it's not on my happy list right now. Let's see if this works. I know I'm just being a grouch. I only got a little bit of time though, so I'm trying to get this thing done. Not trying to waste time because people are trying out some new late great thing. Failed to download from source. Cloning in. Permanently added to cannot read. Permission denied. Correct access rights.
Yeah, I missed that part.
This is stupid. I'm mad. What does it mean that Supernova 9 is now hosting you? I have no idea. I don't know this stuff, y'all. Shouldn't I be the host? What does that mean? This stuff. Technology today, people. I don't even know what's going on here. Okay, so I don't want to deal with GitLab. I don't want to download the whole thing locally. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pretend like we have a real SDK that actually works, and we're going to program against that. So let's do that. So real Marvel. Let's just call it Marvel. So what are the things I'm going to want to get from this SDK? And then later I can make this SDK actually powered by what I want. I'm going to get things like series, and then let's just do that. Let's just assume this is going to return an array of all the different series that exists. So one of our series is going to be Ms. Marvel. Sorry, y'all just disappeared now. It makes me look online, but people see your content instead. I'm not actually streaming. Okay. Cool. So let's just take a quick look. This is the wrong one. All right, let's take a look at what their API looks like. Pretty sure that's not supposed to be doing that stuff. All right. Okay, so comics is the same as a series or not? They don't actually have docs. You need to interact. Oh, awesome. Comics belong to a series. So here's. So is a comic like an episode then? Let's try this then. Let's try look for a comic with the title. With the title starts with of Ms. Perfect. Thanks. See, that's what Dorinda's hooking it up here. He's the one who did the research for me yesterday. Okay, here we go. This is what we want. All right, so what we want is comics. Well, yeah, no, it ends up being series. And so there's basically something along the lines of like title is exact match, got it. I mean, technically that doesn't matter right now. But this is just for us to test. So like, let's just look at what the response looks like from a series perspective. And this is what one of our, holy crap. Holy crap. All right, so interestingly, this would be one thing right here. Like you can see the items. So this is one of the individual comics available in the Ms. Marvel series. Okay, so what I actually want, you get ID of series and find the comics. So the interesting thing is what we really want first is just to get a list of all the series. Right? List of all the series. Can you just get an unfiltered list? Just like give me every series in the entire thing? Because that's kind of what we want. Yeah, there's a lot of data. Can I just, like, will they limit greater than 100 limit? Okay. So this is probably just like every comic series of all time, right? Yeah, it starts with number 1. So it feels like, what, when the same place you sat when I sat? That is the same place I sat, you're right. Lee. All right. So this is kind of what I want. So we got, you know, something like this, search series, and I don't know what this API is going to look like. So that's in case anybody asks. I'm not doing TDD because I have no idea what I'm doing here. What's the actual information we want? If we look at our README, we definitely want to at some point say show all series, right? And so that needs to be a thing, assuming that's possible. And then of course we want to add filtering. The thing is, I don't think I want to rely on Marvel's API for their filtering. So one of the things is like if you type Ms. Marvel like this and starts with, it works fine. But if you type this right here, It doesn't work. And so you start typing MS space, and all of a sudden you lose all of Ms. Marvel. So I don't actually like the way their API works. So what I'd much rather do is what Michael's saying here. Just grab the whole thing, pull it down, cache it once an hour, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think this is going to be changing that much. So that's kind of where I want to lean, is just on basically pulling the whole thing down. So let's assume we've got all of our series here. So what does a single series, what do we expect a single series to look like? Let's assume it's associative array, which it's not going to be later. So it's got things. Yeah, that's right, I do have. Yeah, title. I'm not in. Jeez. All right, so if we have a single series, what are some things we have? Let's just grab a couple of these. All right, those are all great. Start here. I mean, I guess a thumbnail. Basically, it's just enough to do like a little rudimentary amount of listing work with, so that we can then just do some really quick iterating on the UI before I've got to be done. Creators we're not going to care about right now. Characters we're not going to care about right now. Stories we're not going to really care about. I'm assuming stories and art. We don't even care about comics right now. We just want the list. So let's do that. So that's our thing. So those I think these are the ones we're actually going to care about right now. Michael Duenda says images. I'm not seeing that, so I'm just going to hang on this right now. It's so hard to see here. So let's say we've got the landing page, and once you've signed up, and let's just assume there's a single user right now, so I don't have to worry about user signups. You end up getting basically this list right here of all the series that are available, and then there's going to be another thing that's going to allow you to basically save one of these series as like your watch series. Close array instead of opening it. Thank you. Cool. Well, it's not. I actually like the sidebar. It helps me know where I am at any given moment. Path image not available. Give me something where the image is available. Nope, not in there. There we go. This is going to be our whichever one this is. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do. So something like this. So we end up getting that, and then we're going to need some kind of AJAX route that says route, basically ends up being a patch that allows you to toggle, I guess, subscription to a series is what it's going to be. And then elsewhere there's going to be the cron that checks for new and emails. You must append something like poster logic extension to get actual image. Interesting. Okay, so we'll have to figure out how to build that. So the problem is I don't want to build too far in the Marvel world because this whole thing here is going to be replaced by that stupid GitLab thing that I don't want to deal with right now. I just don't want to flounder with GitLab and downloading things locally in Compose right now. I'd like to actually do real functional work while my brain is on. App like this just resolves it out of the container. We could have just said new app Marvel. Actually, I'll just end up doing this right now because it doesn't have any dependencies or anything like that. So. All right, so I guess we create our view. So this is basically be like Marvel series, and then what's the plural of series? Series is? I know that's not actually it, but I actually am curious what it is. And I don't like working with them as associative arrays, so we'll probably end up creating a series object. But again, I think that's probably going to come through with that Marvel SDK that I'm not using right now. So I can recommend a great book. Oh, yeah, that's the problem. Series of series doesn't give you a great way to differentiate the words here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, unexpected search series of variables. Series of Siri. I like it. I must have typoed something in this marvel.php. Unexpected search series. Oh, right, because I didn't actually finish writing this out. Undefined variable series is, of course, not. Because I was being an idiot. I'm going to do that. Alright, undefined index title. That's Siri. Okay, cool. So this is basically what we want. We want to be able to say, for each of our series, then put a button next to it. And so it ends up being something along the lines of like, you know, toggle subscription. Of course, that's probably going to be like a little toggle button shows whether you're subscribed or not. And in the end, the UI is probably going to be not just a big old list, but it's going to be, you know, something clever. But I do think it may end up being just a big long list that you can then filter down versus having to worry about a much more complicated thing. Again, this is not like you're going to be doing this all the time. Like you find a series that you want to subscribe to on an only somewhat regular basis. What's this project about? There's a thing called Marvel Unlimited. What is Cortana's? I have no idea what that is. Marvel Unlimited is a tool that allows you to subscribe to Marvel comics, but they come out like 6 months later than they actually come out in reality. And so what I want to do is be able to say, follow X or Y comic and get notified when it comes out. Something like the Twitch Games View. I don't actually know what that looks like. We could definitely build something like this for the series later down the road. I just want it to work right now. So this whole GitLab thing is just really getting on my nerves, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to get around it. I mean, I guess building how we're going to do this could be a thing. The best way to do that probably ends up being, looks like that, yeah. Building a component that sends the AJAX calls to create or delete a subscription item. Siri Cortana. Oh, Siri, nice. Because I don't want to create a GitLab account and go through all that stuff and waste 15 minutes doing it live in the air. But I understand that I've spent 15 minutes complaining live in the air. So, is there a pause button? Does OBS have a pause button? If I hit stop stream, it's actually going to break the stream.
So we're going to do this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have the receipts in the car.
That's why normally I do this stuff on my second screen, but... Oh wait, do I do this? Boom! Check it out. I'm going to go sign up for a GitLab account real quick.
Yeah.
I hope that actually worked and y'all are not seeing it right now. But like seriously, you have to have a GitLab account in order to use it as a composer dependency? That's really annoying. Yeah, good thing. I mean, I don't mind the audio still being here. Y'all can listen to me creating a GitLab account. All black everything. Yeah, it's a great idea. I should do that. Can anybody hear what I'm listening to in the background? What they're blazing ridiculously loud at the Starbucks? This is great. I never even thought about the fact that I could literally just turn off the stream while this is going on. Oh, glad Adam Wathan just said you can sign up for GitLab with GitHub. Okay, gonna do that. Can I renounce everything you're typing? Clever. Adam Wathan, you beautiful human being. I just did a remote interview that will be on the interweb soon, and in it I said everything Adam Wathan does is gold, and I believe this to be true. All right, take 2. You won't be able to pull or push product code until you add an SSH key. GitLab, you are not my friend right now. All right, take 2. All right, so now let's see what happens if I do this. I guess I didn't need to prefer source, but whatever. Almost every single time I do one of these streams, y'all watch me flounder for 30 minutes on something that would have taken 2 minutes if I wasn't such a grouch. So, just a heads up to everybody, that's a thing. Look at that. Just works. All right, so what's his... To use the examples, rename credentials dist to credentials.php and add your API key from here. All right. Wait, rename it in my actual vendor folder? That's why yeah, that's kind of one here. Is it like publishable or something? To new and protect issues. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What y'all missed is that I actually fought audio issues earlier just because I couldn't do a Twitch stream without audio issues. All right, credentials dist. The icon if you're not watching could be great. Iron Man, glowing eyes. Nice. All right, so is there a way to publish this credentials file, or how are we being expected to change this? Oh my gosh, what is going on here? Is the Marvel client... Oh, okay, cool. Check it out. When you create a Marvel client, you just have to pass the public key and the private key in. We don't need credentials anything.php. We just need to bind how to instantiate. Okay, cool. So really what we need to do is go to app service provider and then Marvel, wait, what is it? Client. So what was the order there? Public key, private key. So let's go to services, config services.php, and we're going to add a service named Marvel. this is just config marvel.public. Hey, welcome, Zetranza. It's your first time. That is my example file, but I had already added it to my real file earlier. Laravel, because I keep typing that. Oh, because it's Laravel Marvel. Clever. Okay. So, all right. So we've just found the fact that every time you instantiate a new instance of the Marvel client, you now end up getting that same client, but with the public and private key. So in theory, we should now be able to drop my Marvel thing entirely. And go back to our routes web.php and see off platform, yeah. So this is, so if I were to end up doing something like Marvel/client right now, it would now throw a fit because it doesn't have its stuff in it. So this is where you use that app thing. So when you say app right here, it basically says inject it out of the service container. But because this is this, I can just say like this instead. So I don't have to do that. So I now just have client like that. So, but I don't actually know what it gives me. So the best words. So let's see what Marvel client makes available to me to get the series. Get, okay. Wait. What's going on here? What do I actually have here? Oh yeah, you missed it at the beginning. I told everybody, oh my gosh, my keys are all available here. I hope Marvel lets me reset the keys. I don't know what else to do about it because it came up on the page before I knew it was coming. So, all right. So, this is this package basically just like a little simple extension on top of Guzzle? Okay, no, it does have its own. Okay, cool. So let's go to our examples then. So what we want to get is an index of series, right? Here you go. Here you go, look at this. Seri. Please do. Did I use client instead of Marvel? I probably did. That's okay. So this is, we're going to try this right here. Right here. Yeah, I did. Thanks. So series index 125. I'm guessing that's going to give me the first 25 of them. So what I'm curious about is, can I just say 1/5000 without it farting out at me? And if so, then we can just use it like a cache forever kind of thing. But first, let's just see what we get on this page. Now, it may not come back as an associative array. And undefined index data. I think the developer is Romanian. All right, so this is an error in his code. You must provide a user key. Oh, cool. User key like my public that I just provide, or what? Oh, null. Okay, that's my configuration things are not working. That's why. All right, so config services.php, services.marvel. I think I know what I did wrong. I think I found them wrong in app service provider. Yep, it's services.marvel.public, not marvel.public. That's my bad. There we go, nice and slow. Cannot use Marvel series is right. Fantastic. That's exactly what I hoped for. So let's dump our first series and see what we get. Nice. So this is not exactly what I want them to be, but we do have the important information. Let's make sure we've got our thumbnail. Bam. Wonderful. Okay, cool. So we have everything we want here. Let's do a quick check to just see what happens when you just say 9999. Probably it's going to fart out, but I'm just going to try it. If that works, we'll use cache remember, which anybody doesn't know. You end up basically saying, I forget the order, but you basically, or no, cache. It basically says if I already have the ability to look it up, Here we go. Give it the key, so I'm going to say series. And it's going to replay them every time, which is why I'm caching them right now. So basically what you're going to say here is, and I'm guessing at some point you say minutes, there you go. So this is right here going to say, how many minutes do I want to cache it? So I'm going to say cache it for 60 minutes right now. And so what we're doing here basically, it says, here's the key for this cache item, here's how long to keep it, and anytime you run out of it, here's a closure that tells you how to return it. So in theory, this will run once, really be painful, and then the rest of the next 60 minutes it'll be free. Nice. I don't want to remember forever because they will eventually change it, so I just want to remember it for a shorter amount of time. But let's actually see if that even worked. Oh, well, it definitely did not give me 9,999 of them. So that's something we'll have to probably do what Michael Drindo suggested, which is we're going to have to paginate it. Serialization of closures not allowed. Did I do something wrong on cache remember? Cache remember key minutes. Why is that a thing? What is trying to file, store, cache? Is there a closure in here? Is that probably what's going on? I've already got use. So I guess let's see what comes back here. My guess is that there's a closure in here somewhere, and it's having trouble serializing it. Yeah, because we have the client on it. We might have to drop the client off of it. It's a janky response, which is not exactly what we want. So what's the cleanest way to clear this? It'd be nice if the client did caching, because then we could cache the API response before it gets converted and all this stuff versus caching all this stuff. It is Guzzle. So I bet there's a way to pass in a custom client that does caching, which we would do in the app service provider. We'd basically do like custom client that caches stuff. And then we pass it in, I think is the third parameter, right? Yeah, HTTP client. So this is what they're doing right now. Let's see if he has any caching built in here. I'm pretty sure he does not. Yeah. She's passing a timestamp in, so I'm trying to figure out where would be the cleanest place to. I'm gonna guess all of his stuff routes through Git, so I'm wondering if we basically overload Git and do the caching there. But does anybody know off the top of your head whether it's really easy to build a Guzzle client that has caching built in? It feels like it should be a thing. Yeah, I really don't want to get like down the long and deep world of Guzzle clients, because every time I do, I regret it. I've done it before, and it ends up being basically something like this. Yeah, you do a cache. Yeah, it's like this. Let's not cache it now, stick to 25. Yeah, you're right. So that is the right decision for the sake of speed right now. All right, y'all are right. So. No, we definitely can't do that because we will definitely hit our. It's not a premature optimization because every single time I've ever built something like this that requires very regular cron hits plus pretty significant queries every single time you hit a page, I hit all my data limits instantly. So this is not. But it is a little bit premature, a little bit. So okay, let's assume we really want Witch Hunter Angela. Let me just skip in. I'm gonna guess this is start and number. So let's try this. What happens when we get here? Yep. Okay. Cool. All right. Like the Brian Michael Bendis. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is build a very simple thing that does here. So I'm going to build something that's not Laravel. Yeah. I know. I'm live streaming and I'm almost out of time. All right. So what do we want? Toggle subscription to series, cron the checks for new, and emails. All right. So let's build the wrong way to build the toggle. So it's just going to be series ID toggle subscription. This is not how we're going to do it in the end. And build that functionality, and then we're going to go back and do it the right way, which is not normally how I do it. I stop and think, and I think what it really is going to end up being is creating and deleting a subscription, because watch is not a good name for a noun. It's not a good noun, right? Like, you're not creating a watch. You're creating a something that watches things, and I don't know what that is, and the best way I could come up with is subscription. So we're probably going to be basically creating. So right now, let's just make this a link. What it's going to do is, so we need a. No, I don't, because then we're actually going to be building structures around. Okay, screw it. We're going to do this. Post. And so this is going to be basically, so auth user, which we don't have. Subscriptions, where series ID is ID. And this is going to be subscriptions create. So right now we're just going to do it manually. Something like that, right? And so we end up creating a subscription concept. Right? And then we're going to create app slash. Actually, no, let's just do.
Now that's what page.
Oops. So what is the subscription? It has. User ID. And it has a. I guess it's a series ID, right? Let's look at what their series IDs are shaped like. So what does this end up? This is series ID. And then since it's a toggle, we actually have to do, we're going to have to do a check inline right now to see if the user is subscribed to it. So let's just have a add subscribe or watch button. So this is going to be slash what? See, this is, you guys could be useful because you can put your brains to things that I can't do, but the problem is there's the lag between when you type things and when it actually gets to me. So, like, it's very frustrating because it's basically like pair programming, except you introduce a 20-second lag, so by the time y'all say something, I've already fuddled through it. So somebody who works at Twitch, help me out here. All right, so what we basically want is to have this be a thing that posts to this. And even that, so I'm going to end up having to do JavaScript. I'm trying to avoid JavaScript right now. So let's do a quick hack, which is going to be this nasty thing, which is going to be a git on the, and then we'll turn this into real JavaScript later. Pair programming in space. All right, so this is going to be /post, and then this is going to be unwatch. There you go, and then we can replicate that in real code later. Cool, thank you, Frankie. Oops, let's just refresh the wrong one. Yeah, this is good enough for now. All right. Oh, right, because I didn't actually put the ID in there. So what are these? These are Siri ID. Oh, right, and the whole reason we were in here is because I was trying to see what is the shape of their ID in the first place so I can see. Is it it's numeric. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going back to our create subscriptions table. User ID, series ID. Cool. In unsigned integers, and we're good to go. All right. Hate the doc box. Okay, subscription.php, and then user.php, and then. All right, so. Oh yeah, we should have scaffolded off the toggle. I'm pretty sure I have this toggle already toggled and it's not working. Yeah, let's do that. Hope that doesn't break everything. Is that actually an open pull request? If it is, I'm sorry, Milosh. All right, so let's go back to where we were. All right, has many subscriptions. So in theory, this should work if I was actually a real user. I think there's something along the lines of like, you can manually just log in, something like, is it auth, login like 1 or something like that, and then I could just go create. Session guard login must be at the, oh yeah. I think there's a login using ID or something like that. Where's the login using ID? So let's go create our first user real quick. Right.
She does Yelp, but Yelp is sort of in combination. Well, she's related.
All right, so we should be an actual user now.
I didn't really know.
Okay, looks like that might have worked. So let's just try subscribing to the New Avengers Annual 2006. All right, Series ID subscriptions posts not found. So let's go to routes web, route get Series ID subscriptions post, not subscription post. All right, mass assignment reception, Series ID, right? So that's subscription. Can't remember if fillables are public or protected.
I know her almost, I think, only that.
Okay, this may have worked. So let's go here. Check it out. All right, so of course this needs to be unique and everything like that. We can worry about that right now. It's protected? Interesting. Seems to work public, but we'll make it protected. All right, so
was wondering what you were saying.
I think that's gonna work. Let's try it out. Let's just see if that works. So basically what I'm trying to do is build a thing real quick that just says if auth user, I forget which one it is, subscribe to, and then Siri ID. Typing is hard. And if something like that. Wow, we're at Starbucks, huh? Hey, good to see you. What is going on here? I literally have no idea what you're talking about. Alright. What did I do wrong? Oh, right. That there. Alright, so it is user.
Let's go to the bathroom first. Go back to the bathroom.
Boom, look at us. So it's hacky, but we can actively watch and unwatch into these things. That's like a really kind of big foundational thing that we need done. So I gotta leave in 5 minutes. So what's the last thing we could do? Oops. I could set up the actual auth. Yes, ready to go. All right. You know what? Let's build a cron thingy. Thumbnail. Okay, thumbnail. We can do thumbnail. Actually, no, I don't want to do thumbnail yet because I don't know what I want this list to look like in the end. So I'm not going to do design. I can't do design in 5 minutes. Let's do a quick kind of proof of concept for what the thing is going to look like to go over all of the, no, you don't do that in 5 minutes. To go over the thing that's going to actually do the functionality. So like, Vue library, here's the thing with shipping things, like this right here, other than the fact that I don't have the full list, this is usable, right? Like it's ugly, that the code's not good, it's not TDD, which I get. Like normally if I have more time, I'm definitely going to like do a better TDD, but like I can watch and unwatch things. I can't log in, but like if I were to go to this website right now, I could watch something, done, right? So like now, what's the remaining piece for this to actually give me the functionality I want for it to actually email me? So the next thing would basically be stubbing out this kind of idea of like I guess it's going to be an artisan command. So let's make an artisan command. I should forget if it's console or command these days. And it's going to be basically, I guess, notify. It's users of new comics. I mean, I don't know exactly how to do it. Okay, so it's probably make command now, right? Because command got renamed to job. Somebody just make me a plugin that just says delete all doc blocks. The number of times I do this in a day. All right, so what is this going to be? It's going to be all right, so what's our pseudocode for this? For each subscription, Twitch is more stable than YouTube Live, yeah. Okay, for each subscription, let's see if y'all are saying anything. Nope, okay, for each subscription, get list of comics, check if any comics were added to Marvel Unlimited, Laravel every single time since the last time this job ran. If so, send out notification email. The interesting thing is it's not really for each subscription. It's more like each subscription grouped by series ID. We don't need to check the series, you know? Like, if 5 people subscribe to Ms. Marvel, we only should check Ms. Marvel once. So we get list of comics, and then make sure to get every subscription for this series. Cool. So we've got some good pseudocode I got to run, but the cool thing, so what my next steps are probably going to be is this is the type of thing where I'd much rather TDD this than do it on my own. Subscription, so if multiple users have the same subscriptions. Yep. Well, no, we don't need distinct, because the thing is, we can expand it back out. But let's say 500 people are subscribed to one. It's more likely that it will not. It's more likely that it will not trigger an email than that it will. So I want to optimize speed here, because this is going to happen more and more and more and more. This happens much less frequency. So this is basically like a lazy loading kind of thing. Yeah, I'm thinking that saving them in the local database might end up being a thing, because you want to cache them or whatever. Especially if they have something where you can, like, say, get me only those that have been updated since X date, if that's a possibility. So, okay, so what I'm likely, my next steps are going to do is probably going to be to TDD this kind of general idea out, and basically assert that if you get data of a certain shape, then you end up getting this email triggered, et cetera, et cetera. I also want to go back and kind of refactor this whole thing, to not be this hacky delete post thing, but also with like a acceptance TDD type thing. And then, of course, I want actual users and actual routes. So at this point, I've stubbed out enough the idea that my two options are either one, finish building this out, put it live, use it, and then go back and refactor the whole thing from scratch, which I could. If my need for this were really, really, really great, I could. But at this point, I feel like I understand the shape of the thing well enough that I'm ready to TDD it. And the thing is, with TDD, it kind of requires you to understand what your acceptance criteria look like, assuming it's acceptance TDD. And I have no idea what they were until kind of we got into this point. I feel like now I know enough of the shape of the things and what the dependencies look like and what the individual pieces need to look like that I can now kind of go back and re-acceptance TDD it. Okay, when I do acceptance TDD, it's something that I learned by watching Adam at ZenCon last year, and it blew my mind because I finally understood that the concept of acceptance TDD was a brilliant thing. So, okay, send notifications when comic arrived rather than need subscription. Well, we only need to send notifications based on the ones that are subscribed. We don't care about notifications for something you haven't subscribed for, which is why we're doing each subscription. So, okay, thank you all for tuning in. I was hoping this one would go on YouTube and end up being really like a very clear one that's like a, not just a random Twitch stream, but like one that's like, here's how I create an app. But as always, so many things went wrong that this is just another Twitch stream. I'm going to put it on YouTube anyway, though. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in to my nice, warm Starbucks stream of screwing things up and typing typos and Laravel and everything. Push it. Yeah, I'll push it. Wait, should I push it? I guess, because the only problem with pushing something, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll push up the code for sure. All right, take it easy, everybody. Where's the thing? OBS, stop stream.